How's everybody doing? Hope you had a great weekend so far, or weekend and week so far, I guess. Rainy Saturday. Just to recap the game from this past weekend. Rainy, not a ton of juice in the stadium. We had to overcome that. Offense was clicking on all cylinders per usual. Really effective in the run, really effective in the pass. Really had it any way they wanted it. I really thought that Coach Wright and those guys did a really nice job in the first half and into the second half offensively, doing some things they hadn't shown on film yet, which again is a testament to their coaching staff. Their guys still play hard. They still fight for wins, and again, when you can not feel just overwhelmingly happy about one side of the ball's performance and still win by 4 or 5 touchdowns, you're in a pretty good spot. You've got a pretty good football team that kind of understands how to handle the situation and find a way to win. Make no mistake about it, we're about to go play the best football team on our schedule, in my opinion. They are deep. I could sit here and read every single player that we need to keep an eye on, but offensively, they're explosive. They run the football down people's throat. Defensively, they're fast, physical, aggressive. They bring pressure when they need to. They play zone and are really effective in getting turnovers. Special teams are elite. They're explosive in their return games. And there's a reason why they have such big trophy cases at North Dakota State. So we're excited about the opportunity, and we can't wait to get back to practice.
You got much sleep? You just went rat-a-tat-tat on these guys and the challenge they present.
Yeah, not really, Wyatt, man. It's been I told the staff last week, I said, if we get to this 8th win and we put ourselves in the seat to have an opportunity to go win a championship, our guys deserve every single bit of our staff, our hearts, our minds, our time. So no, it has gone. I usually live by the 24-hour rule. It wasn't quite that this week. So we've been in. We've got a good beat on them. Coach Polasek is, picked up exactly where they left off. He's a really, really good football coach. He's hard-nosed. He fits them perfectly. So, again, it's going to be a battle.
Can you go back to the game y'all just played? Right, obviously, we look at Northern Iowa. They scored a lot of points. They're one of the lowest-scoring teams in the conference. Murray State, not great either. So when you talk about what they do when you guys don't know what they're going to throw at you, how often have you guys come into that this season? How often do you experience that?
Yeah, I think it's new for us as an organization because most of the time in the past people stay vanilla because they have a pretty good feeling that they're going to win the football game. I think that's a testament to our players that, they've got a record and they put things on film that they know that we have to get people's best shots, and we have. And again, now there's some things that we have to continue to clean up, offensively, defensively, special teams. But again, when you're in the hunt, you are going to get every single bit of every team you play, and that's what you want.
What does it mean now to have the sort of buy-in that you have from the players? I know you talked about yourself and the coaching staff maybe cheating and not taking the whole 24 hours to enjoy this when you've got players like Taj Chambers in the post-game talking about, I don't need 24 hours. I'm ready to get on the bus, start looking at Bison footage. I mean, it's players like that and attitudes like that have made this a special season, right?
Yeah, it's a total mindset that we have in our locker room, and just, again, the culture in our program is the fact that if you come to Missouri State and you're a football player, you expect to win championships and in the future play in bowl games, and they've wrapped their arms around that. They trust our process. They trust how we go about our business on a day-to-day because it works. And they've been able to see it with their own eyes because a lot of times, last year as a first-year head coach, there is some, young guy coming in, first-time head coach. Is this going to be effective? Well, now it is.
You're playing for a championship this week, a share of the league. We talked to you last week, and you're like you said you saw something like this coming, but meaning these kind of games don't come around Missouri State often, or don't know if it's been probably since '90 since there was a meaningful game like this in November. What have you seen in this program and how it's going to be reacting going into this game?
Yeah, what a special opportunity we have, and it's about the players. Our players, since we got off the field last season for our last game, it was a total mindset shift in regards to what they wanted this football program to be, and the leadership that stepped up and kept our main pieces intact they knew how special we could be. They knew what kind of football team we could have. And, here we are making a run at a school that traditionally, again, you're on to another sport or you're talking about different things this time of the year. Well, now it's all about football. Now it's all about how can we put the best plan together, how can we get our guys healthy and feeling good and ramped up and ready to go to hit the Fargo Dome.
What was the strongest defensive performance against Murray State, team that hadn't had too much success offensively, especially in recent weeks, really this whole year? Just you can't play that way against the Bison with how good they are. Just what do you see needs to be cleaned up over this week to get that playing at a championship level?
We have to have a great week. There were times, and I said it after the game, we speak frankly to each other. There were poor moments defensively in that game where, whether it was bad eyes, bad alignments, there were some little things in there that, again, when you have good run schemes, if you're a body and a half out of position, they're going to go for chunk yardage. And we know what North Dakota State is going to do. They're going to try to establish the run, and they want to try to get ahead and stay ahead and melt the clock. We got to make sure we start fast. I think that's one of the keys to the game is understanding what we need to do to be able to get some stops early and let our offense put some points on the board.
Coach, every time a team, a program is leaving a conference, then they run roughshod over the conference 6-0 like this, do you feel like, what does that feel like for your team? Because do you feel kind of like they're sending their best at you right now and the conference is against you? Do you guys feel like that you have that role? Because that's got to be something that the rest of the Valley might be thinking,
Yeah, of course they are. You don't want a Missouri State emblem plastered all around when it says win, 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 and they're leaving the conference. The Missouri Valley Football Conference is tradition rich as it gets. If you look over the last 20 years, there's more than likely a chance that you saw a Valley team holding the trophy. And we've been proud to play in the Valley. It's a great football league. Again, there's a ton of great coaches, ton of great athletes, and I have the utmost respect for everyone in the Valley. But it is a good feeling knowing that we've been able to have a decent farewell tour up to this point, and that the work's not done yet. We're not where we want to be, and I think that's what's exciting. We had a team meal and meeting last night, and you could hear a pin drop. Everyone was ready to go. Everyone's fired up. Everyone's excited because, again, when you talk about things and, it seems like it's so far away, it's so hard to attain, and then you get a chance to go get exactly what you spoke into existence is a special moment.
You talked about all the superlatives for your opponents this Saturday. Number one team in the country, where they rank offensively, defensively. So are there any weak spots to take advantage of when it comes to a team with the size of the trophy case, the amount of talent they have in Fargo?
Not that I can see. They seem pretty unstoppable.
Just looking at Cam Miller, North Dakota State quarterback, Walter Payton Award nominee. He's right there with Jacob. Just what do you see from him, and what challenges does he bring?
He is an elite player. The way he, I talk about Jacob's vision a lot. He sees the field similarly. He does a nice job running their offense and understanding where the ball needs to go, when it needs to go there. And I don't know if he has any interceptions or turnovers. He has to be one of the lowest in the country in turnovers. And again, that's why they're able to be so efficient on offense, because they're smart football players. They're tough. They take care of the football. And he is elite as it gets.
Coach, you gotta beat the man to be the man, right? So, we're gonna prognosticate and talk about it, but will the final result, win, loss, or blowout, do you think that will define this real season? Or do you think that, again, the 8 wins you guys have stacked up in a row say more about that than playing the best team in the conference?
Yeah, I've said it over and over. Winning 8 games in a row is really hard, especially in the best football conference in FCS. Really hard. And it doesn't matter if you're in junior high football, Pop Warner. That's a hell of a run. But the nice thing about where we're at as a program is everyone's still hungry. Everyone still sees what we can go achieve. And, I've spoken a lot about North Dakota State. I believe in our football team. Have ever since the season started. I believe in the men in that locker room. I know that they are going to put their heart and souls on the line for Missouri State and each other, and it's time to go after it.
You have a unique atmosphere out there. You know, when you go to play the Bison, what is it like to go in there, and what are any special things that you guys have to do to prepare for that atmosphere?
Yeah, it's going to be loud. It's a championship football game in one of the most historic venues in the Valley. Their fans are going to bring it. Their team's going to bring it. It is going to be as electric as any place we've played in the last 5 years since we've been here. I think the game up in Missoula will help. Versus the Grizz, it was loud there. They have a great fan base. Obviously, in a dome, it's a little different. Your noise resonates a little stronger. So we got to make sure we have multiple cadences ready. Our offense understands how to operate through the noise. And again, I think we've handled that extremely well this year, and I think we handled it pretty well at Montana. But again, it does present some challenges, but I think we'll be ready.
Is there any way that Grizz game, the way that they play offensively, is it similar or is it too far away from where you're at now?
No, I think there's some similarities. I think that's certainly one that they'll go back and watch based on how that game progressed through all 4 quarters. We need to make sure, because, again, we've gone back and watched every game of this season, looking at issue plays and looking at various things, as well as every game of their season. So I do think that still correlates with some things that we need to make sure are addressed moving forward into the game up in Fargo.
Played without 2 starters, one on each side of the ball. No Cash Hudson on Saturday. No PJ Hall. The hope for both of them to be available this Saturday?
Yes, sir. I think both of those guys should be ready to go. Excited to get them back on the field on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Get some reps to make sure they are ready, and then go from there.
This would be a pretty good season if you guys can make the playoffs, right?
Yeah, it would. It definitely would. Even without the playoffs, I think it's a really good season anyway. And I also think that I have something prepared, for that comment. But the players and the organization deserve our full attention on going and trying to be competitive against North Dakota State, and that's where our attention's going to stay.
Hey, Coach, real quick, I know you are a competitor. I know you want to win everything. So, personally for you, how's this one feel?
This is what you want. This is why you train year in and year out. This is why you play the game. Is just like I think you said it earlier. If you want to be the best, you got to beat the best. They're the #1 team in the land. So we get to go up and see what we can do. The best thing about this football game is we have nothing to lose. They have everything to lose. They're the top dog. They've got the trophies. They've got the $100 million facilities. They've got all this and that. The lights might go out here in a minute here. It's a little bit of, that's the chip we've carried all year. And I think that it'll continue to be that way. And I can promise you, we're not going to limp into that football game. We're going to be ready to go.
Coach, are you enjoying this ride, or does it feel more like a sense of relief whenever you win these games? And there's a difference, right? Where you can love it, or I don't know. I remember after a Yankees World Series in 2009, it was just relief. They weren't really happy as much as they were just relieved because that's what's expected. What's it different for you?
Yeah, I think that you have to enjoy every single win you get. As a football coach and anybody that's played competitive sports, there are seasons that you would be dying to sit at the podium at 8-2, talking about going to play for a conference championship. I tell our players, whether you've played well, poorly that game, as long as the team wins, you have to enjoy them as much as humanly possible. Now, the other part of the relief as a head coach is a challenging question because, you've got a lot of families that you need to make sure you win games. So there is a sense of relief, but I enjoy what I do. I've told you that over and over. Love coming to work with these guys. We have an incredible staff, incredible group of players, and we've had some fun locker room moments this year. We'll see if we can't make one shake on Saturday.